Hello everyone and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. My name is Monique and this is my second tarot channel here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for your continued love and support. For those of you that are not aware, I do have channel memberships that are now available for this channel, as well as my main tarot channel, Moon Moth Goddess, where I do also have a bunch of other pick a card readings that are posted over there as well. So channel memberships are live on both channels. For those of you that are trying to join the channel, some of you that are using the YouTube app or even iPhone, you might not see the join button, okay? So regardless of what type of phone you're using, I know most people use YouTube on their phone, okay? But if you're finding that you're having difficulty finding the join button, which should be right next to where you would subscribe to someone's channel, if you're not seeing it there, you will need to open a web browser page, your internet, regular internet, and type in youtube.com and bring it up on a a browser page, internet page, and then you would log into your YouTube account there, and then once you're logged into YouTube, you can search for my channel, and then when you click on my photo, it'll take you to my main channel's page, and then you'll be able to see the join button, okay? So it's a little bit of a workaround for those of you that are not seeing the button in the app. And sometimes I think also maybe on Safari, which is the browser for iPhone, you might not see it on Safari either, okay? So you'll have to use Chrome or Google or, you know, a different type of web browser page that you opened in order to see it, okay? So today's pick a card reading, we are doing what your higher self needs you to know right now. Okay, so what your higher self needs you to know right now. I do apologize. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I feel like it sounds worse than I actually feel. So I don't know if it's just, I don't know. It's been raining a lot here in Texas. So I don't know if it's something to do with the weather or because it's also hot. So maybe it's that. I don't know. But my voice is a little affected by it. So what your higher self needs you to know right now, pile 1 is going to be this pink dyed agate, and then pile 2 is opalite, and then pile number 3 is going to be this little blue dyed quartz crystal. So I am going to be adding in one of these cards to help you guys with choosing your pile today, okay? What your higher self needs you to know right now. Let's pull something for pile 1, and we are also going to be putting the piles together. So if, putting the piles together separately. So those of you that like to watch that process, that will be immediately following this. For those of you that don't really care, you don't want to watch me shuffling and putting the piles together, you can just go directly to click the timestamp that'll take you directly to your reading. Okay, so let's see. What does your higher self need you to know right now? Pile 1 with the pink dyed. It's actually quartz, actually, not agate. Pink dyed quartz. Okay, so we have the survivor, number 8, survivor for pile number 1. Pile 2, what does your higher self need you to know right now? Okay, I think, let me look at this really quick and make sure I don't have to cover it. I think she's wearing clothes. Okay, so this is going to be number 23, the 8th spear with opalite, and I will give you guys a closer look. So pile 3, what your higher self needs you to know right now. Pile 3, what does your higher self need you to know right now? We have Hope. And yeah, she's covered up. Okay. Okay, so pile 1, we have Survivor. Beautiful. All of these cards are beautiful. Number 8, Survivor, and this is the pink dyed quartz. For pile number 1. And then we have pile number 2, which is number 23, the 8th sphere. And that is with this Opalite. Okay. And then pile number 3, we have, what is this? Number 34 with Hope. With this little blue dyed quartz here. Okay, so whether you resonate with the artwork, the crystal, we have the Survivor and the pink dyed quartz for pile 1, the 8th sphere, and the Opalite for pile 2. And then we have Hope and the blue dyed quartz for pile number 3. What your higher self needs you to know right now. All right, so let's put these piles together. We're going to be, how many, what do we have? I think we have 3 oracle decks, and then we have a few tarot decks that we're going to use today. So let's pull one for each of these piles. So what your higher self needs you to know right now. So pile 1 with the Survivor, what does your higher self need you to know right now? Okay. Pile 2, what does your higher self need you to know right now? And pile 3 with Hope, what does your higher self need you to know right now? All right, so we're going to take 2 of these, and I will have all of the decks listed in the description box for you guys. So 2 of these, what your higher self needs you to know right now. And then pile 2, what does your higher self, oops, sorry guys, my voice is like, well, you have enough voice to do this reading. What your higher self needs you to know right now, pile 2. Okay, pile 3 with Hope. What does your higher self need you to know right now, pile 3? I'm going to take those 2. Okay. So, what do we want to do? I think... let's pull the tarot. Now, some of the artwork on these tarot cards here, I am going to have to cover up, so let's see. What does your higher self need you to know right now? And we'll pull 2 of these for each of the piles. What does your higher self need you to know right now? Pile 2. And pile 3. Okay, so we've got one more tarot deck. We'll get two of these. What does your higher self need you to know right now? Pile 2. What does your higher self need you to know right now? Pile 2. And pile 3. I hope you guys are all doing well. Alright, so let's see. Let's pull one of these. If we need some more of them, we'll grab them at the end of your piles. What does your higher self need you to know right now? Pile 1. Pile 2. And pile 3. All right, let's put these piles together, I think. Put this back here. It's a little messy, but okay. All right, that's going to be pile 2. And pile 3. All right, so these are the piles all shuffled out and put together. So pile 1, again, you are going to be Survivor with the pink dyed quartz. Pile 2 is going to be the 8th sphere with the Opalite. And then pile number 3 is going to be Hope with the blue dyed quartz. Timestamps will be down below, and I will see you guys at your reading. Hello, pile number 1. So those of you that resonate with this Survivor card here, number 8. This is going to be a reading today. So we are finding out what your higher self needs you to know right now. Okay, so let's put this one here in the middle. We have card number 44, the box. We also have card number 14, yellowing. And we have card number 51 with chaos. Okay. And then we have 4 tarot cards here. Okay, so we have the sun. We have the Ace of Swords. I'm going to put this one here in the middle. We have the Fool, which is potential in this deck. So the Fool. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. And then we have Gratitude. Okay, so I feel looking at the energy in this pile already that the message here, of course you can play it to any area of your life. I think I'm going to hold off on saying anything, actually. I want to wait to see a little bit more about, we're going to kind of start off with the message of the survivor. Okay. So again, our pick a card topic today is what your higher self needs you to know right now. And we're going to start off, and this is the Oracle of the Long Now, okay, by Ashley Cook. And this is also the tarot, Ashley Cook Tarot, so you can purchase these from the same creator on Etsy. But this is the Oracle card, Oracle of the Long Now. So that is number 8. So we're going to start off your reading with that message. And it says, the Survivor card encourages us to cultivate our self-esteem, our courage, and our strength. This card calls for us to acknowledge the inner convictions necessary to bring forth the creative self. This card suggests that some difficulty may have been experienced, but often when we are forced to defend something, we realize its true importance. The card of the Survivor shows us that good fortune can come through a time of suffering by learning how to identify what we value so that we never take it for granted. The Survivor archetype urges us to liberate ourselves from bonds of existence, thinking, and move to greater achievements of courageous creation. Combine the endurance we possess with the focused light of our will. Increase your resolve to become a stronger person. Discover nature's power to dissolve the obstacles within the self. This card suggests that effort made to overcome obstructions will lead to sustainable success. If you align the intention to succeed with the belief that you will, then nothing can stop you. Hold the courage of your convictions. This card represents passion, awareness, and aliveness. It is a symbol that you should now have faith in your abilities. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to say, basically, when I was looking at this energy, because the Survivor, right? And of course, many of you have been through some very different situations in your life, but we've also have all been in that position where we have that feeling of just having gone through something or been through a lot in our life. And sometimes that can affect our way of perceiving others as well as ourselves. And so that's kind of the message that comes in with the box. And whenever I see that box, it reminds me a lot of the 8 of Swords in the tarot, or the Devil card, because the box is basically implying that, and symbolically, think of us as being, if I can pick this up, of us being this light here in the center. Okay, and all of these boxes that are around are all of these layers that we need to be able to break through in order for us to not feel restricted by self-limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging thoughts, things that kind of hold us back. Okay, so certainly with this energy of the Survivor, you know, it also kind of, because I'm seeing the Knight of Swords energy, and the Knight of Swords is about moving forward with bravery, with confidence, with courage, okay? Because the Knight of Swords is literally kind of moving into battle. And so this, in the way we are, because the swords have to do with our thoughts, our ideas, our, you know, our way of thinking, the way in which we communicate, okay? And sometimes the shadow aspect of the Knight of Swords energy can be reckless, impulsive, confrontational, aggressive, okay? So I feel like the Survivor card here is kind of making a good point, is that, you know, talking about difficulty that we may have experienced, and often realizing, like, we feel that need to defend ourselves, you know, And sometimes that could be because we feel almost kind of like this feeling of still living kind of like in fight or flight, right? On defense mode. And so I feel like this message here is basically telling us, you know, to grow within the situations that we have, because you also have gratitude here. Okay. Now, some things that you go through with certain people can be, you know, very challenging. And maybe we do have chaos here, you know? So it kind of makes me think about the shadow aspect of the Knight of Swords. Because we can also, I feel like, learn, right, from these chaotic movement, or I'm sorry, chaotic energies that we are experiencing, especially if they are things or people, situations that are outside of ourselves. And so I feel like what your higher self is wanting you to know right now is that maybe many of you have been functioning from the capacity of survivor-like mentality, okay? Maybe for a long period of time in your life, you know, with having gone through, and this is where I was kind of saying at the beginning, where maybe this pile is going to be maybe a very specific message for someone, or for those group of you that have really been through a lot. And I know that that's a pretty vague statement to say, like, because we all go through a lot, but I feel like to the point where it has kind of altered your actions, your way of thinking, you know, because the Knight of Swords does intend to defend, okay? And so I feel like that your higher self is wanting you to kind of, for some of you, step outside of that. I feel like the survivor-like type of mentality, and know that you can grow beyond it. Okay? To be much clearer, I feel like, in your headspace and with your actions, your words, your intentions, and the way that you move, you know, as that relates to connecting with others, or even things that you might do within your, you know, for yourself. Because we do also have the Sun card here, which is a beautiful energy of life force and vitality, abundance, happiness, joy. You know, here we have this girl who's dancing. And so certainly, like I said, there could be certain things that we do go through, and we're just like, when we're in that moment of in survivor mode, you know, gratitude is the last thing we're thinking about. It's more or less defending ourselves, and, you know, making a point known, or feeling that need to stand up for yourself. So yes, there is a beautiful, powerful energy that comes from the survivor with strength, but it's almost like your higher self is wanting you to move beyond those limitations that I feel like solely staying in survivor mode or mentality, and more or less kind of taking a step back to think about what, say, current circumstances, situations, things that you go through are helping to shape you into a stronger version of self, right? And sometimes it can be hard, like I said, when we're going through challenging things, to see the silver lining, you know, to shift into that different perspective, because the Knight of Swords can sometimes be very narrow-minded, you know, narrow-minded, single-mindedness. And so I feel like it's important for us to also kind of have clarity of thought, right, with what our own intentions are, and be able to kind of think through the chaos, and to find, you know, a form of gratitude for what it is that we are learning in that experience. Like I said, sometimes it is a process, okay? Because I know that there are certainly situations that I've experienced in my own life, and I was far from feeling gratitude for those situations, especially with them causing chaos within my life, but it is really shifting into that energy of gratitude, because it's also these things that have made many of you such a strong person. So it's almost like transmuting that energy into something powerful, for yourself. Because we also have, this chaos, I certainly feel, like I said, that going through any kind of things that are causing a very chaotic energy in your life, whether it is, personal relationships, friendships, things that are oftentimes outside of our control. The yellowing card talks about transition, and transition being a teacher. And I notice that there's also a snake that is in this card as well. And so I'm kind of perceiving that as the shedding of the old skin. And I'm also noticing that Jupiter is also right here in front of her. Saturn is there, and then Earth. But Jupiter is also a planet of expansion and growth. And so I feel like what your higher self is basically wanting you to know is that I feel like it's all in the way in which that we perceive the chaos, but more or less to observe, okay? Because I feel like it's like your higher self is wanting you, which again, this is something that doesn't come easy. Sometimes it's something that doesn't come naturally. It takes us understanding that the chaos is something that is helping us to change, to transform, and sometimes that process by which is very uncomfortable. So I feel like there's different ways in which we can perceive that chaos as it is occurring in our life, and trusting that it is something that is helping with your evolution, because from your higher self's perspective, it's you kind of going through that process of understanding that chaos is something that creates change. And in this case, it's helping you in your journey to help you achieve and become the person that you are meant to be. And like I said, that process can be uncomfortable, but I feel like it's also through these experiences that you go through, which again, this is all dependent upon how we perceive something, how we look at something, right? We can either perceive it as that chaos is this energy that is limiting or restricting us, right, in that box and keeping us captive, or we can choose to flow in that chaos, and grow from it, right? Take some time to look at the bigger picture of what is happening, what is occurring, because the sun is also about achieving enlightenment, achieving a state of enlightenment, which is part of your journey, right, to becoming your higher self. And the process to get there is not an easy one, right? And so I feel like this is just kind of like your higher self wanting you to kind of look at the different situations, almost to like step outside the box thinking, and more or less from I feel like limiting experience of the 3D consciousness, because your higher self functions from 5D, okay? And the process of us going through and shifting outside of the limitations of the 3D world, moving from 3D into 4D consciousness and then 5D consciousness to align with becoming our highest version of self, um, is something I feel like that your higher self is kind of wanting you to kind of step outside of the experience rather than keeping ourselves kind of trapped within it, feeling that it is something that is limiting or meant to, you know, put us in a place of pain and suffering that we're meant to stay in. Okay? Um, I feel like a lot of it is shifting the mentality, the focus, right? So I want to get a little bit more for this reading here, but we also have potential here. And I feel like this is, in fact, something that your higher self is wanting you to know right now, is that all of these things, right? All of this chaos, something beautiful is being created in all of that. And this is kind of what the point of this card is, especially with, like I said, Jupiter being really close to her. Jupiter is all about powerful, huge, big growth, expansion, abundance. So something beautiful is being created through all of that. And, you know, shifting into a place of gratitude for the experiences, because they are truly something that is making you who you are, right? And a lot of this to me speaks about the transmutation of energies into something powerful for yourself. So we can either, again, perceive that chaos as something that is restrictive and limiting and horrible, or we can choose to look at it as something that is empowering us and almost taking us to that next level, that much closer to aligning with that vision of our higher self, our highest version of self. So it's like your higher self is wanting you to see the potential that you do have within you. Okay? The Fool card here is all about exploring opportunities, about leaping into the unknown, about not letting fears kind of hold you back, or even understanding that with certain things that we want to achieve in life that may have certain obstacles, or may even put us in a place where we are facing chaos in order to get there. You know, again, we can either stay in that box with all those layers of limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging thoughts and insecurities and fears and conditioning and old programming, or we can decide to kind of see outside of that. And the Ace of Swords here is about clarity. It's about truth, your soul's truth, and having epiphanies, realizations, awakening to the divine within yourself and how your higher self sees you moving through this journey. And I feel like definitely wanting you to be proud of yourself, you know, to take some time to look back at all of the things that you have gone through and how strong you are right now, right? And how much, you know, because like I said, this is also talking about bravery and courage. The same thing that the survivor is also, in a way, all of this chaos is also teaching you. Okay? So I feel like I want to look at the box a little bit and see what this box is about for you. And also, you have number 14 here with the yellowing, which is about transition, okay? And something that's teaching you, because you are kind of going through that transition, right? Evolving, growing, shedding old skin, which is number 14, which is the Temperance card. And Temperance is about the transmutation of energies. And then you have number 51 here, which reduces to a 6, which is the Lover's card, which is about divine union, which means that this chaos is putting you into union, into balance with your higher self. Okay? So all in the way that we look at something. And then you also have, what is this, number 44, okay, with the box. And the 4s are about stability, structure, foundation of which you are being built upon, okay? So I do feel like this is a process by which that spirit is saying here for you, or your higher self is needs you to know, is that all of these things are helping you to be more stable, more grounded, or to find even that groundedness through the chaos. Okay? It's almost like your higher self is saying, see the bigger picture of what is actually happening to you on a soul level, to bring you into union with your higher self. We have the Two of Cups, which is also about balance, harmony. What is the box here? And this could definitely be something for some of you that has affected you with your relationships with others, friendships, partnerships. Okay? What is the box here? The Four of Wands. And then we also have freedom. But this is the Chariot card. That this Chariot card says freedom on it, right? Freedom from the box. And at the bottom of the deck, the Five of Swords. Okay? The Five of Swords is the victim mentality. Victim mentality. The survivor. It is the defensiveness. It is the having, maybe for some of you, a lot of challenge, a lot of conflict, okay, as it relates to, like I said, for some of you, this could be friendships, partnerships that you've gone through in your life. The Five of Swords can talk about drama, negativity, toxicity, abuse, okay? So in a way, and I feel for some of you, this could be tied into toxic relationships, okay? Toxic relationships here. But it's helping you to transition through this, right? Because where chaos is, it creates change. Like I said, uncomfortable, but it is creating change. It is creating a stronger, more empowered version of you, should you choose to grow, right? With the Jupiter being here, choosing to grow from the situation versus perceiving it as something that is limiting you, right? That is holding you back. So Chariot is about having the willpower to move beyond, to move towards success, towards victory, towards overcoming the challenges. And for some of you, this could be your challenges with others, being able to resolve conflict, being able to also stand up for yourself, right? For some of you, standing up for yourself. But it's also about moving beyond this feeling of defeat. And, you know, for some of you, if you by chance have gone through a lot of, I would say, toxic relationships, friendships, partnerships, or even kind of gone through some abusive situations, you know, during childhood, or talked to a certain way, had certain people betray your trust, things of that nature, we might feel that way, like very triggered, you know, and feeling that need to defend ourselves in this space, feeling like we don't want to be hurt like that again, you know, and sometimes that can make us act out or lash out at certain people. But it's also like your higher self is wanting you in a way to kind of choose your battles wisely, okay? And also to move beyond this victim mentality for some of you. It's freeing yourself from the limitations that victim mentality or mindset, or even your past hurts and things that people may have done to betray your trust or to hurt you in any way, okay? To free yourself from that, to move you into balance, to move beyond the limitations of this mentality, okay? And this may also be your own thoughts that you have within yourself as a result of certain things that you may have gone through, self-sabotaging thoughts, okay? Which can also keep you restricted in that box energy. So it's this whole transition here, but this transition that's happening for you, it's almost like your higher self is wanting you to pay attention of what you're learning through the process, sometimes it can be hard for us to kind of see that light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups energy here and also the Star. So this is a lot of, it's a process of healing is kind of what your higher self. So we can still kind of hold on to that very aggressive, challenging, confrontational, defending ourselves, letting our own thoughts kind of keep that limitation around us. But the Six of Swords is also a card of transition. It's about moving on. It's about moving away from the chaos. It's about, and that chaos can be something that's happening within. It can be an environment, and a need for moving away from that, freeing yourself from that. For some of you, it might be a home life situation, or even a situation that you may have had with family. Even if this is something that you are not a part of right now, it's your higher self wanting you to see how that past situation has affected you mentally, emotionally. If you're still suffering, right, and still kind of feeling that all of that energy that's still there surrounding a past situation, this is also nurturing you, because we do have the Queen of Cups energy here, which is about empathy. It's about compassion. It's about nurturing and emotional stability. Of the Star energy here was about healing. Okay? So for many of you, this can be movement into a place of love, compassion, empathy, even for other people and also for yourself, right? Being kind and compassionate towards yourself, especially if you are someone who does have a tendency to have your inner dialogue is negative, self-talk. Okay? It could be very well coming from that survivor-like or victim type of mentality, but it's almost like I said, your higher self kind of wanting you to see the bigger picture, right, of how you are growing through this chaos and how this is helping you to step from student to teacher, to aligning with your higher self through that chaos, because it is creating beautiful change. Like I said, even though it may not feel like it and it may be really uncomfortable and very painful, again, we can choose to stay in that limited mindset and mentality in the way that we think about it, or we can choose to expand beyond that, beyond the limitations. And, she's got, with this gratitude card, there's all of this beautiful light energy that's coming from behind her, and that, to me, I'm kind of seeing that in relation to your past. But also it's coming from her, like the area of her heart chakra, okay? And she's even got her hand kind of holding onto her heart and kind of extending her leg and her arm outward, okay? Because these are truly things that are, for many of you, this could be the process of heart chakra awakening for you and embodying the energy of unconditional love, which is where your higher self is, right? In 5D, unconditional love and gratitude for your teachers in life, right? Even the most challenging of situations that you're going through, all of these things are teaching you, right? And so if we're holding on to anger, resentment, right, towards a past person, towards a past situation, all that is doing is keeping that heart space closed off and limited from us being able to grow and evolve beyond 3D consciousness into union with the higher self. It's love, right, that is needed for self and for others, and to function from that place of the Queen of Cups energy. Like I said, it might be a process, and I know it's a process because there are certain things, that we're all working through to kind of move beyond those certain experiences, and some things kind of linger a little longer than others. Some of us, it's easy for us to forgive, and for some of us, it's not, right? It's harder to let go of certain things, or to even see what is there to be grateful for in these experiences. But when we can shift into, right, a place of unconditional love, and that certainly doesn't excuse certain people's behaviors and treatment. That's not what this is about. It's more or less your higher self is wanting you to see beyond that, okay? And to really kind of embody the energy of love. And that starts first and foremost with loving yourself, being kind, being compassionate towards yourself. And if there is a situation in your life that is kind of making you or feeling like you are in that situation right now, it is Spirit kind of wanting you to kind of move away from that. Okay? Move away from that. And see the potential that you do have within yourself, and the confidence and the bravery, especially for those of you that are still in those situations. Many of you could be in that process of moving on or leaving something behind. Okay? And there's a lot of healing, and it's like Spirit, your higher self is wanting you to trust the process of your healing. Be kind to yourself. Be loving to yourself. Okay? So I'm going to pull another oracle here. For pile number 1, is there any other messages from their higher self and what their higher self wants them to know right now? We have synthesis here, and I'm also seeing reflection at the bottom. Okay, and I want to see a little bit more about this synthesis card. Let's see. I think I want to start with this reflection card here. It says, for those who have an intense urge for spirit and wisdom, it sits near them waiting. Everything you see, everything, is the reflection of your inner world, thoughts and intentions. What if the ancient sages were right and you could change your outer world simply by changing your inner world through self-reflection and clear intention? What are your beliefs about money? Does it come easily and effortlessly, or is it never enough and always lacking? What do you feel about the world? Is it a safe and peaceful place filled with loving people, or is it a scary, dangerous place filled with greedy people who are only interested in themselves? How do you feel about others in general? Are you open to meeting new friends and exploring the potential for new relationships? Or are you cynical, critical, pessimistic, and constantly placing judgment on the minutiae? How do you feel, period? And how are these beliefs being reflected back to you? These questions and many more like them can be avoided for a long time, but they eventually will need to be confronted. This process of confrontation can be uncomfortable at first, but the more you dive deeper into self-reflection, the more you witness the correct your inner vision. The more you'll begin to see how certain patterns and beliefs have dictated your life. Just like going to the gym can be difficult at first, but you slowly become stronger and more accustomed to the routine. Self-reflection gets easier and more routine once practiced regularly. It's a muscle that you can stretch and grow with the proper time, attention, and nourishment. If meditation isn't your thing, you can also ask your subconscious mind some questions and take a little bit of time to close your eyes and contemplate the answers you receive. When you're ready, write your revelations down in a journal. It's important that you don't react by writing down the first thing that comes to mind, but rather respond to the questions by taking your time to truly contemplate what you're receiving. Here are some questions you can ask yourself. Who am I really? What do I want? What am I avoiding? What am I afraid of? What am I grateful for in this life? What are my gifts that I would like to share with the world? It says, I reflect on clarity and am open to receive the answers I need. I am ready to accept the advice and embody the wisdom that I receive. Okay, so now I want to look at this synthesis for you. If I can find it. There it is. Okay. So it says, imagine a multi-dimensional spider's web in the early morning covered with dewdrops. And every dewdrop contains the reflection of all the other dewdrops. And so ad infinitum. That is the Buddhist conception of the universe in an image. The metaphor of Indra's net stems from both Buddhist and Hindu cosmology and relates to the metaphysical concept of non-duality. Indra is a Vedic deity who is believed to be the god of the heavens and of the devas. His net is infinite in dimension, and within this web is a structure of infinite multifaceted jewels. And within each jewel, all other jewels are reflected. Imagine a precious lattice of life, where all action is reflected, connected, and interdependent upon the actors. A worldwide web of multidimensional movement which echoes through infinity. The Hegelian dialectic is a philosophical thought exercise where a point, thesis, is met with a counterpoint, antithesis, and inevitably a compromise, synthesis, arrives. As a meditation, let's visualize Indra's net as the connective tissue between action and response. Every jewel holds the reactions and reverberations and the perception of all it is. The compromise, because we are, as perceivers, are still limited in our projection as we traverse through the illusory state of reality. Okay, so basically what I feel like this is talking about here is, again, and this is what I was explaining earlier, how are we perceiving that chaos? Okay? How are we perceiving it? And how also is the things that are happening, say, in our life, certain areas of our life, how are they reflecting back to us something that we need to see within ourselves or take a look at within ourselves? Okay? How are they reflecting what your internal state of being is? Is it triggering something within you, right? This chaos, because again, this process can, like I said, be very uncomfortable, right? With that change and transformation beyond those limitations. So I feel like that's definitely something here where Spirit is wanting you to focus on clarity of thought and to take note, I feel like, because this is speaking about transition as your teacher. So what are you learning, or what has the chaos, your perceived chaos in your life, what has it taught you? What have you learned from it? Right? What is the takeaway from that? The wisdom, the knowledge, the lessons that are here. And that being something that's you're then able to integrate into your new beginning. Okay? In which way direction it is taking you. So take that time, right, to reflect within the self, and what maybe, if for those of you that have gone through that past, right, chaos, or even for those of you that are going through the chaos right now, or when you're reflecting within the self, discovering the inner chaos that is taking place and things that you're needing to, say, stabilize within your own energy. Okay? Again, I feel like for many of this is heart chakra awakening. Okay? Movement into that higher frequency of energy of unconditional love that starts within yourself, your own reflection. Okay? All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you, pile number 1. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonated with the 8th sphere, this is going to be a reading today. So we're finding out what your higher self needs you to know right now. Okay, so we're going to put out your cards, and I think there are a few of them that I am going to have to cover here. So if I just took a quick peek at them, and I saw some of them that I'm going to have to cover. So, all right, so we'll put that to the side for a second. So we have card number 58 with the nectar. We have number 29, sulfur. We also have card number 9, Neptune. And yeah, I think your tarot cards. What am I going to do? Let me take a peek at them really quick. We're going to put this one in the middle. These two I can bring out right now. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands and the Empress. And the other two, I'm just going to take a second to cover up the imagery so that I don't have to do so much editing later. Let me just put a little tape on her. Okay, so we've got Temperance. And then we also have an angel here with Judgment. Okay. That stays down. Okay, and then your other card here is Resolution. So we're going to start off your reading with the first card that we pulled here, which is the 8th sphere, just to kind of get a feel for what this is that your higher self is wanting you to know at this time. And this is going to be from the Oracle of the Long Now, which is this Oracle deck here. Okay. And this tarot deck and this oracle is made by the same person, which is available on Etsy, her name is Ashley Cook. So this is number 23. Okay. So the 8th sphere. It says the 8th sphere card refers to a space observed within the earth sphere. Just as physical air is all around us, so the spiritual is around us. The 8th sphere is said to surround us as the spiritual realm does. Unconsciously, we are always within it, just as we are always within the air. The sphere is a programming environment, but it is not a force creating a world that will guide and care for us as individuals, but a homogenizing influence that consistently impacts the way in which we operate. It is not interested in us as humans. It is out of circuit, a blind alley which halts the natural process of organic evolution. The concept of this sphere has crept into popular culture under the name The Matrix. The warning of this card is that humanity is approaching a time where many people are becoming disconnected from nature and are lost in this false reality. Drawing this card issues a reality check to avoid participating in this dystopian future. This card urges us to look at the bigger picture beyond mundane existence, to adopt sound principles of sustainable farming, renewable energy, ethical financial practices, and spiritual balance. Okay? So this message, again, coming from your higher self. Your higher self is accessible in the 5D consciousness. Okay? It's not a place that we travel to and go to. It is a frequency of energy. It is a consciousness that we have access to within ourselves. Okay? So I'm noticing that you have resolution here, and you also have conflict here. So I do feel from this message here, it's like your higher self is wanting you to get better connected in with I feel like remembering who you are. Okay? Sometimes and I feel for most people, most of the collective, I want to say, right? That are kind of stuck in 3D consciousness, getting caught up in their existence here on Earth, and kind of further, like this is talking, being disconnected from nature, disconnected from the higher self. And I feel like this is where most people, when they're kind of too caught up in the 3D matrix, duality, is where we be disconnected from our spiritual self. And this is where we often find people who are lost. They don't know what their purpose is. They don't know, why they're here. They haven't spent the time to really reflect inwards and discover who they truly are. Through that process of accessing that information that resides within you. Okay? Before we incarnate here on Earth, right? We have a soul plan. We have contracts to fulfill. We have, an idea or a purpose, right? That we're meant to fulfill, a mission. And when we come to Earth, it's kind of like our conscious memory of that is wiped. All that remains is those memories within the subconscious. And that subconscious is accessible to us with deep introspective work through meditation. And I almost feel like your higher self is wanting you to strengthen that connection that you have through that process of meditation, through that process of stillness, because you have judgment here, and judgment is about awakening. And we have Neptune here. And Neptune is, 12th house, rules Pisces. Neptune is a beautiful energy of psychic intuition. And so I feel many of you that have chosen this pile have some very strong psychic gifts. But Neptune can also be a planet it has energy influences of illusion, of fantasy, of delusion as well, right? So I almost feel like your higher self here, and it feels more or less like this 5 of Wands energy could be something that you're feeling within yourself. Okay, some type of inner conflict that your higher self is wanting you to take the time to resolve by reflecting inwards. I do feel like what's going to help you to reconnect in, or to strengthen that connection that you do have with your higher self, is by taking time to work on connecting in with your feminine energy. Okay? Because we do have the Empress present, and the Empress is all about unconditional love, prosperity, abundance, fertility, sensuality, sexuality, passion, creativity, birthing, new things, expansion, growth. But it's also about beauty, body positivity, confidence, knowing what your worth is, knowing what your value is, and also knowing that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of abundance, you are worthy of prosperity. So Temperance here, I feel like for some of you, this is healing the feminine energy, reconnecting to the feminine. Okay, the Empress is also like the energy of connecting to Mother Earth. Okay, being reconnecting to nature. So maybe for some of you, your higher self is wanting you to spend more time in nature, finding the beauty within, as well as in the external world. Temperance is the process of alchemy, which is alchemizing and balancing energy. Okay, so maybe for some of you, there's healing the feminine or bringing the feminine energy into balance, nurturing the self, being more connected in with the intuition. Okay, because it's there that your intuition remembers and knows what your mission is, what your purpose is, and to also have access to those psychic gifts. Okay, this nectar card here is basically talking about the sweetness of life. Okay, the beauty in life is the Empress, beauty within yourself, within others, within the world. And then we have Judgment here, which is the process of awakening. It is also about release, releasing karma, transcending karma. Okay, so maybe for some of you this is resolving, and I'm noticing that she's also got her hand over her chest and there's like a green glow, a greenish bluish glow that's kind of emitting from her heart chakra. And this too, a very similar message that came out in pile 1. However, this is a little different, but the same kind of message having to do with the heart chakra, connecting within the heart space, which I feel like is important for coming from your higher self, who, like I said, is accessible in 5D consciousness. And there we experience joy, we experience happiness, we experience oneness, connection with the earth, connection with nature, connection with the divine, connection with your higher self. And it is something that you can resolve the inner conflict that you feel and how you fit into the world by connecting inwards, by connecting to your heart space is going to help you to resolve any type of inner conflict or challenge that you have. I feel like within your life at this time. Okay. But it's also the process by which you are able to connect in with your higher self is through your heart space, through your heart chakra. Okay. I'm also noticing that she's got a veil on her hat here too. A veil that's in front of her eyes. Okay. So in a way, through the process of awakening, this veil is being lifted. Right? That veil of disconnect, that veil of illusion and separateness from your higher self. I want to see what this sulfur card is about, because I use this deck a lot, but that sulfur card I don't think is one that I've seen very often, if at all, that has come out during a reading. Okay, so sulfur is about evaporation, up and out. It says both and. It says on an esoteric level, sulfur is the first of what is known in alchemy as tria prima, or the three primes. Along with salt and mercury, it makes up a threefold phenomenon that symbolizes the uniting of soul, sulfur, body, salt, and mind, mercury. So this sulfur is talking about the soul. On a tactile level, sulfur is responsible for both the off-putting smells and the therapeutic properties of a mineral bath. It soothes and it stinks, literally. To understand sulfur is to embrace a both and mentality. Don't be discouraged if the meaning of this card seems to evaporate before your eyes. For now, keep in mind that what is gross contains beauty, and what is beautiful contains its own demise. Sulfur's job is to push the geyser up and out, dissipating the pressure. Don't be surprised if what appears to suck or stink soon becomes a great gift. Okay, so I want to clarify, I feel like this Five of Wands, because it almost kind of makes me feel like your higher self is trying to help you to transcend some type of karma here. something that you could be challenged by, struggling to find resolution in it. And maybe for some of you, this does have to do with matters of the heart. I think I want to look at Neptune as well. What the book says about this. What is this? Number 9. Number 9. Why can I not find number 9? Hiding. Maybe something that maybe that's a message for some of you. Like something is hidden from you, or there's a need for discovering what's within, behind the veil. Okay. So we have Neptune. It says divinity, mysticism, and seeking. Neptune is the mystic's planet. Its transcendent energy projects towards the heavens. When the Neptune card appears, the seeker archetype is activated and doorways to new dimensions open. A voice whispers from beyond the earthly plane, perhaps calling you to a pilgrimage or new spiritual practice, or you may experience a meditative bliss beyond your wildest dreams. Divinity has arrived, whether you call it nirvana, samadhi, enlightenment, or just good old serenity. Amidst your spiritual awakening, remember that ultimately the work is not about you. The work is about what's bigger than you. Stay grounded in that reality, and you're likely to avoid Neptune's pitfalls of narcissism and escapism. History shows us the examples of spirituality turned madness, so keep your woo-woo tendencies in balance with a little selfless service. Okay? So maybe for some of you with that Judgment card, you are going through the process of awakening. Okay? But for some of you, like I said, I do feel like it's a message about your higher self wanting you to get better tuned in, better connected in, and feel that sense of oneness. Again, like I said, I feel like this is going to be accessible through you, for you, through your heart space. Okay? Through the energy of the Empress, the energy of love. And maybe for some of you, there could be certain blockages, right, that are there within the heart chakra that are making it difficult for you to connect. And maybe the process by which is you kind of taking a look at certain things, because Judgment is about life review. It's about reviewing our past and what it has taught us so that we then may integrate what we've learned moving forward. So I want to look at your 5 of Wands here and see. You know, the 5 of Wands is also about changes. So your higher self could be wanting you to know that maybe there are certain changes that you need to make to something here, I feel like. Maybe that's happening. Maybe some of you are experiencing changes within the heart chakra or within the feminine energy that you're healing and transmuting here. You know, we do have with Judgment is Scorpio energy. So Scorpio being about transformation, death, and rebirth. Perhaps some of you are going through that process. Temperance is also very spiritual energy. Let's see. What is this 5 of Wands here? And I think I want to look at your resolution card as well. Why is the 5 of Wands here? Wow, we have the Tower. The Tower, which is revolution in this deck. And the 4 of Cups. Okay, so your higher self, pile 2. The 4 of Cups is here. The 4 of Cups is about distraction and a blind spot. Something that you're not seeing. So this could literally be your higher self trying to get your attention. Okay? And it could be something that you're missing, because again, this card is talking about us being kind of sucked into the 3D experience, the mundane, right? The day-to-day life. That means we're losing that connection to our higher self and disconnected from self, disconnected from nature. that's when we start feeling empty. That's when we start feeling the void, like something's missing. I'm searching for something. I'm trying to find happiness. I'm trying to find peace. I'm trying to, you know, search outside of myself for something and look, you know, no matter what it is, more money, more power, more love, more this, more that. But I feel some of you could be going through the awakening process right now, okay? Or right on the precipice of awakening. The Four of Cups is when we're feeling distracted, or when we are distracted. We are distracted. We are missing something. There's something that there's a blind spot. There's something that we're not seeing. We're not paying attention. Again, the Four of Cups could be talking about this being kind of, like I said, sucked into the mundane world, which means basically we get up, we go to work, we come home, we cook the dinner, we take the shower, we go to bed, and the cycle just keeps, like, we're kind of like on autopilot, the Matrix, right? We're disconnected from self. We're not spending time in quiet, in solitude, in introspection and reflection. So I feel like your higher self is trying to, with the Tower energy, the Tower is an epiphany, a realization, a wake-up call. It's also about releasing illusions, which is basically something that happens when you go through the process of awakening. The veil is lifted, right? That whole being stuck in 3D consciousness, and when you go through an awakening, you don't see the world in the same way, you know? And of course, awakening is something for some people that happens spontaneously. For me, it was something, you know, through my own awakening process. It happened super abrupt. It was a crazy, crazy experience. It was just like one day I went to, you know, I was, you know, just sucked into the Matrix, I guess we'll call it. And then the next day I woke up and it was like, something happened to me. Something happened to me. And it was a very wild experience, you know? So yeah, I feel maybe for some of you, it's your higher self is trying to get your attention. You know, like I said, some people do go through spontaneous spiritual awakening. And the entire earth is going through a big change as a collective, where one by one people are awakening, right? Out of that 3D matrix and ascending, right? To becoming that highest version of self that is accessible within the 5D consciousness. So I feel like there's something here. And of course, you know, I try to get as much information as I can for you, but this is a general reading. But basically, the Four of Cups energy can also be when we're feeling indifferent, when we're feeling bored, when we are kind of emotionally closed off or kind of checked out. We're feeling sad, we're feeling sorry for ourselves. For some of you, it could be borderline depression, feeling sad, feeling unhappy with your life, and could be feeling that life is maybe very challenging right now. We do have the Tower, you know, which, yes, this talks about awakening and epiphanies and realizations, but the Tower energy can also represent chaos. It can represent upheaval in our life. It can represent things falling apart, relationships ending, jobs ending, us having a realization that we're not satisfied with life, that we want to change. And the Five of Wands is about change. Okay, the process of change. So maybe your higher self is also letting you know, if you're feeling like a lot of things are falling apart right now, trust the process. Okay? Know that it's happening for your highest good. The Tower is, you know, can be perceived within the tarot as a little bit of a scary card, because it's forces outside of our control that are forcing us to change. The divine forcing you to change, forcing you in a way to move, to let go of anything in your life that is not in alignment. And that may be beliefs. That may be relationships. That may be jobs. That may be a friendship. So I want to look at this Four of Cups a little bit. Why is the Four of Cups here? The Two of Wands, which is about planning. It's about choices and also choosing your path. I feel like your higher self is trying to get your attention to make a choice about your path, okay? Changes on your path that have to be made. And maybe you're not seeing it. Or you do see it and you're choosing not to do it. Because the Four of Cups can be about us rejecting an opportunity that's there. Turning it down. So I almost feel like your higher self, pile 2, is trying to get you in line, okay? Trying to get you in line. Why is the Four of Cups here? Your higher self is like, hurry up and make the choice already. We've got the Chariot. Yes, this is progress. This is moving forward. This is you having the willpower to move forward. This is about bringing your energy into balance. So maybe for some of you, you could be dealing with some type of conflict, which is either inside of yourself, or it could be a situation that you're currently dealing with, and there's a need for you to release it, which is also what the Tower is helping us to do. Release, let go. Okay? Free yourself from it, right? Move forward. Have the willpower to move forward. Because this to me is resistance. For some of you, this might be a resistance to change. If something is not working in your life, if maybe it's a relationship for some of you, I don't know. But the Tower helps to break down an illusion. It helps to break down something that is not meant to be, that is not meant for us, or never was meant for us in the first place. So there's a choice here, a need for you to choose your path, choose the direction, and be confident in yourself. The Chariot is about moving forward, making progress, moving towards success, victory, accomplishment. It's about having willpower, determination, focus. This is not focused. What is the Four of Cups here? We have the Hierophant and the Queen of Swords. So the Hierophant is the mystic in this deck. We have the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is about discernment. It's also about taking decisive action. Some of you are needing to change something here, and it could be beliefs. The beliefs can be creating an illusion. I'm feeling for some of you, there could be certain opportunities that are surrounding you to align with your path. And again, this is either you're distracted and you're not seeing them, you're ignoring them, you're pushing it off, feeling conflicted about, maybe this could even be for some of you not trusting your path, not trusting where the universe is guiding you. Again, this is why it's so important for you to connect in with your intuition, with the energy of the feminine. So let's look at what this resolution is. It's like your higher self wants you to know right now that there's a choice you have to make. And this is choosing your path and moving forward with confidence. Maybe some of you are stuck. What is this resolution here? We have the Devil. Reclamation in this deck. So this is the Devil is This could be doubt for you, fears, insecurities, emotional manipulation, control. Whether this is another person or a situation that is controlling you or manipulating you, or it's your own thoughts, your own feelings. The devil keeps us stuck, limited, in an illusion. Some type of illusion. Why is resolution here? I just saw awakening again. Queen of Wands. It's like your higher self is wanting you to reclaim your power. Okay, pile 2? Reclaim your power. Maybe some of you are giving it away to a past situation, a past person. Reclaim your power. We have the Strength card here. This is about you finding your inner strength. Your inner strength, your courage. Maybe for some of you to let go of something. Like I said, some of you there's resistance here. Holding on to something because it's like your higher self is trying to get you to release and to let go and to see the path before you. And the Four of Cups can also sometimes be when we are dwelling on the loss of something that we really wanted or that didn't work out for us, or dwelling the loss of even something that wasn't meant for us in the first place, truly in alignment for us. So the Four of Cups can talk about self-pity, feeling sorry for ourselves. We're very withdrawn. You know, we feel unhappy, and I almost feel like your higher self is trying to get your attention to change what your current circumstances are, giving you the opportunity to create a better life with more balance, with more flow. And some of you might be resisting that change or feeling an inner conflict that's making you feel like I can't trust myself. I can't trust my path or which direction I'm meant to go in. And again, this is where you're needing to connect in with the energy of the feminine, because this is where all the information is, right? The intuition holds all of the answers. This is also where you reclaim your power, your inner strength, your courage, your confidence in yourself. For some of you, reclaim your power, reclaim your confidence. It's like your higher self is trying to give you a leg up here and try to get you to continue to move forward along your path. Okay, some of you, I'm seeing the Nymph of Wands at the bottom. This is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is about starting down a new path, new direction, pursuing a passion. This is about adventure, excitement, travel, something new, right? And also something that's created from this Empress energy, which is beautiful. Okay, maybe perhaps some of you are needing to work on nurturing the self, healing the self, mothering the self, balancing the feminine energy here, finding your inner courage, confidence, strength, self-esteem, self-worth. Reclaiming your power is what your higher self is wanting you to do. Okay? Awaken to the changes that have to be made, awaken to the shifts, the opportunities that are surrounding you to change what your current circumstances are, and to take decisive action. Don't let your beliefs or limiting beliefs get in the way of that. Some of you are needing to free yourself from a situation. I want to see what this Tower energy is here. We have the Hangman, which is meditation in this card. This is a change of perspective. With the Spirit of Wands, I think this is the King of Wands. Yeah, the King of Wands is about leadership, taking the lead, paving your own path. paving your own path, being confident in your path. You know, the Hangman is also a card of surrender, which means that we are giving in to the change that your higher self is trying to get you to, right? Sometimes we resist the change. We're kind of that, again, that comfort of the 3D, of the mundane, of the, you know, and it's like you're meant for more than that. Your higher self is wanting you to see that. You're meant for more. You're meant for greater. You're meant for bigger. Okay? So whether these are beliefs that are limiting for you, a relationship, a job, whatever it is that's holding you back or restricting you, this is you reclaiming your power. Okay? And taking the lead in your own life and leading yourself to greatness, to experiencing great and beautiful things. So, let's see. Any other messages for you, pile number 2? What your higher self needs you to know right now. We have partnership. Yeah. I feel like your higher self is letting you know, like, I'm right here for you. Okay? Helping to find union between the two of you. And I also noticed that both of them are not, they're levitating. They're off the ground. Which with this, the way that this looks, it's kind of like you are connecting in with your higher self. And both of them have their eyes closed too, here. Okay, they both got their eyes closed. Which means for some of you, your higher self is wanting to connect with you through meditation. Okay, through stillness is where you're going to be able to hear and feel what your higher self has been trying to communicate to you. Okay, and I'm seeing this as change here. Change, reclaiming your power. Healing the feminine is what I'm seeing here. Reconnecting to your intuition. Okay, all right, so that is all that I have for you, pile number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 3. So those of you that resonated with card number 34, hope, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out what your higher self needs you to know right now. Okay, so hope was your first card. So we have the unseen, which is number 27. We have number 11, Chiron. We also have card number 26, Gold. We have the 7 of Wands. We have the Star. The Ace of Wands. We have the Warrior of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. Okay. And then we also have squaring the circle. Okay. So just like for pile 1 and pile 2, I want to kind of start off with your reading today with the message with this card, which this one is from the Oracle of the Long Now by Ashley Cook. And she is the creator of this deck as well as this tarot deck, the Ashley Cook Tarot. You could find these 2 decks on Etsy. Okay, for the other decks, I think I got them all on Amazon, but I'll have all the names listed for you guys, for those of you that are wanting to buy it for yourself. Okay, so hope, let's see what this message is about for you guys with what your higher self needs you to know right now. Okay, so yours pile 3. Says the card of hope urges us to communicate sacredness and build it, share it, and spread it. Hope is a flower which continues to grow without sunlight. Since life is our mirror, it will reflect joyousness back to us if we can find it within ourselves. Believe in a positive outcome, no matter how dark the circumstances. Here we have the opportunity to view the glass as half full or half empty. Despite the difficulties, make best use of your time and your talents. Don't give up or give in. This card asks you to consider which type of thoughts you nourish in order to understand why events in your life unfold as they do. Are you cultivating pictures of success or failure? Energy flows where attention goes. The card of hope asks you to examine your philosophy. Is it manifesting the feeling that all is well in the world, or that life is working against you? If you seek abundance in life, you must be open to receive it and allow this abundance to flow out into the world. The card of hope asks you to open yourself to life's benevolence to enable you to receive life's gifts. Okay? Interesting, because you guys also have the star here. And the star is also about hope. It's about faith. It's about trust, believing. It's about being optimistic. It is the card of wish fulfillment, destiny. Okay? And then you also have the 7 of Wands here, which is about perseverance, facing adversity, and being able to kind of stand strong, stand in your power, and move through these obstacles. And I'm not saying with, that message there that the process that you're doing that is going to be an easy one, But with the hope card, this is basically telling you that your higher self is trying to, maybe this could be shifting your perspective, which I noticed was a common message coming across all 3 piles today, is the way in which we look at life. Because again, this is coming from your higher self's perspective, which is 5D consciousness. Okay? Some people here that are on Earth perceive life and from a place of duality, which is the 3D. And we see ourselves as separate from divine, separate from love, separate from money, separate from all of these things. And our higher self functions from the 5D, from a place of unconditional love, of joy, of happiness, of abundance, of prosperity, and oneness. So, in a way, your higher self is trying to help to give you guidance today to navigate through your 3D experience, right? And so when we're kind of seeing the things that are happening in life, we can take on that perspective, and I'm not saying that anytime anything happens to you that you should, neglect the feelings of that experience, because we're all here to experience, right? To experience different feelings, emotions, challenges, and learn and grow on a soul level from these. But again, this is where your higher self is kind of looking at what your perspective is right now. Okay? Because this 7 of Wands is about you facing the challenges and the obstacles head on, in a way kind of like your higher self reassuring you that you have the power to overcome these obstacles, whatever they might be. And with Chiron being here, the wounded healer, okay, I'm sure many of you have heard it being called that. Maybe for many of you, this is healing, things from past lifetimes, or even things that you're still, healing from in this lifetime. Okay, so that process by which can be one that is painful and very challenging. And I'm seeing the Knight of Wands energy here and the Ace of Wands. And I almost feel like maybe because you do have the unseen here, and maybe this is kind of making me feel like, is there something that you're not seeing right now that your higher self is wanting you to see? Perhaps for some of you it's healing, okay? Because the way in which we look at the experiences through life can be shaped of whether or not we are healed, right, from certain things. Have we healed from those? Are those things that we have not healed from still affecting the way in which we do look at life? Are we a person who thinks, like this is describing, as the glass is half full or the glass is half empty? Is life happening to us or is life happening for us? Okay, could be a huge shift. And I was actually doing somebody's private reading yesterday too, in which perspective was, a very, very loud message that was coming through in that person's reading. Because oftentimes when we're here, living on earth, we can get very sucked into, right, the 3D experience of pain and suffering and get stuck there. Hard for us to get out of it, because we could certainly have gone through some type of trauma, or, which could certainly change a lot of the way we function, the way that we communicate from our innermost self, our inner dialogue, and also the way in which we view the world, right, from a state of fear and insecurity, and like I said, suffering, or we have the opportunity to be able to grow from that situation, right? So again, in the way that our higher self sees things is very different, right? But always know that your higher self is there to guide you and accessible through you connecting inwards, okay? Especially when you are feeling challenged. So you do have the Ace of Wands here, which is about passion, creativity, divine inspiration. And the Knight of Wands energy here is also about passion and movement and spontaneity, excitement, moving towards something. It can also be a card of travel. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling like your higher self here with the unseen is saying that there's something that maybe you are not seeing that you need to kind of look at within yourself that maybe does need to be healed. Because you also have the Star here, which is also about healing, regeneration, renewal within the self. For some of you, it can be that healing is going to be something, or the process of healing, or you're almost like your higher self is trying to inspire you to take action towards your healing, to move beyond some of the things that perhaps you're not seeing right now within yourself that need your attention, okay, is what I'm getting from that. So I want to read the message with your gold card here. And let's see. Okay, so this one is number 26. Your message with gold says illumination, splendor, and culmination. The alchemist's gold is no ordinary gold. It is not found in rings or coins or necklaces. It is a substance buried deep within. Sometimes referred to as gold of the wise, philosophic gold, the ethereal stone, or divine quintessence, among countless other names. For our purposes, we seek not the physical metal, but the mystical essence within each alchemist. How do we recognize it? It mimics qualities of the metal itself, soft and radiant, and its planetary counterpart, the sun, warmth and bright. It's no wonder gold is also associated with the heart. When this card arrives, there is something of incredible value at hand. It is marvelous and rare. Cherish it. Get to know its properties and its source. The gold card carries a distinct shadow. If mistaken for a purely physical material, it can lead to greed and excess, causing the alchemist to lose their way. Reverence is the key. You know, so I feel like with this message here, it's like your higher self. And again, I feel like a lot of these piles today are kind of interrelated with each other. Because this message with the gold here is very similar to a message that came through in pile 2. And then pile 2 had messages from pile 1. So I almost feel like this is like a continuation across these piles today. So for some of you, if you felt called to like listen to all 3, do it. Because I almost feel like they're kind of telling this story across here. But I feel like this message with this card is basically asking you to find that source of gold from within the self. Because very easily, right, in the way that our higher self is trying to help us, again, yes, to navigate through our 3D experience, but also through our ascension process. And that is ascending out of 3D consciousness, which is duality, right? Separateness from other. This is where we can be caught up in ego captivity, right? In duality, in separateness, and also kind of in that feeling of need, needing love, needing money, needing, you know, all of these different things, and feeling that we are lacking something, missing something. Resources, or we become someone who becomes very fixated on material things as a source of happiness. You know, if I have more money than this, or if I have this, then I'll be happy, or that, then I'll be happy. And always in that search for something outside of ourself, but with your higher self wanting you to go through your ascension process of eventually functioning, right, from 5D consciousness. In 5D consciousness is where you find oneness with the divine, with another, right? People in your life, a sense of interconnectedness, that we are all one. But also we experience joy here. We experience love. We experience abundance and prosperity, and the ease of which we are able to manifest these things into our life because we have stepped outside of ego captivity. We've stepped outside of self-limiting beliefs, programming, conditioning, and feeling that we need something outside of ourselves in order to find happiness within the self. So this message to you here today is your higher self wanting you to find that source of gold from within the self, not by looking at external sources to feel and to find that, but for you to find that from within. Okay? So I feel like I said, this could be through this process of healing. I do want to look at this Chiron card here. So let's see what this says. Wounds, teachings, and paradoxes. It says Chiron is a cosmic enigma. In Greek mythology, he is said to be the rejected son of Saturn, who through the pain of abandonment becomes a great teacher and healer. Such is the paradoxical nature of this minor planet. It demonstrates that our pain is a great resource. It will guide us to our deepest purpose if we are able to observe it, slowly, gently, and with support. So already this kind of makes me feel like your higher self might be saying to you, Pile 3, that for many of you, this process of you, you know, feeling, or that your pain for many of you is the key to what maybe for some of you your life purpose is. Okay? Which means that some of you that chose this pile could be healers, could resonate as a shaman, a healer. Some of you might even have because this is talking about abandonment wounds, you know? And of course, the pain being the teacher can be something that we do translate into a life purpose for ourselves. Like, let's just say we are someone who has an abandonment wound, and we have we have that wound there. And through that process of you healing, that you decide that you want to become a psychologist or a therapist who works with children, or somebody who works in works as an advocate, right, for children, or who decides that you want to work law enforcement, or you decide that you want to become a doctor, a nurse, working in healthcare, a social worker, or anything that could serve. It's almost like turning your pain into, because you have the Ace of Wands here and the Knight of Wands, turning your pain into your power. Using it, right, to transmute it into something powerful for yourself. Kind of like the stepping stone that takes you into this next stage or phase of your life, where instead of kind of looking at the pain that you are experiencing or have experienced in your life, again, from this perspective, as, again, life is happening to me, glass is half empty kind of perspective of it, but instead turning it around. And for some of you with gold being here, it could even be turning this into something that brings abundance for you, right? And that could even be writing, sharing your story. That could be something that could help to heal others. So whatever you choose, because again, this is very creative energy. So let's finish what this says here with Chiron. It says, when the Chiron card appears, know that you are being called to deepen the work, to delve into tender parts of yourself that require patience and forgiveness. Victim mentality will get you nowhere. Your past blaming. It's time to let your painful experiences serve as a beacon of light to others. Chiron reminds us of where we've been and where that allows us to go. Okay? And I'm seeing something for you to ponder here is the story of your scar, meaning this is kind of what I was saying earlier about you sharing your story, sharing the story of your pain through creative inspiration, however you choose to do that. Okay? But like I said, I feel like for many of you with the unseen here, there's something that Spirit is kind of wanting you to look at the almost kind of like for some of you finding the gold within this pain, within this healing. So I want to see what your squaring the circle card is about here. Squaring the circle. Okay. So this says, in alchemy, the metaphor of squaring the circle relates to mastery over our inner and outer operations, understanding the correspondences in nature and in mathematics. The master alchemist can see the relationship between that which is above and that which is below, that which is within and that which is without. They are able to see the significance of all the changing seasons, the wisdom in the differences of the elements, and the intelligence in the directions. Becoming one with the four, their vision is whole, as all transitions of time are fully appreciated. As a conceptual meditative practice, let us incorporate this idea into a breathing technique called box breathing, as we seek to master our minds and operate from the grace of self-mastery. Okay? So, talking about self-mastery here. So yeah, I feel like your higher self is wanting you to really look at like I said, your pain, and to find the gold within it, right? The meaning in it, what that pain is teaching you. Okay? And that being something that is working to help you to change your perspective of that, and more or less, again, not succumbing to the pain and the suffering, but using it as a tool to empower you in a form of creative, I feel like, expression for some of you. Turn it into your power. Find that source of gold from within the self, and everything that pain has taught you about yourself and about your life and about, I feel like, growing from that, evolving from it, right? Restoring hope and faith in here. Because both of these energies are very similar here. So I think I want to clarify your 7 of Wands here. And I also think I want to clarify the unseen here. So let's see, why is the 7 of Wands here? Okay, so I saw the 2 of Cups. And then we also have the Strength here. Strength card. Oops. Okay, so we have Justice and the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords has to do with keeping ourselves stuck in a mental prison of negative thinking. Okay? And that being something that is restricting us or holding us back. I do feel like your higher self is wanting you to find your inner strength, your power, your courage, and also to face your fears. Both the Justice card and the 2 of Cups are talking about balance here. Okay? And also he looks like in the 7 of Wands card, like he's balancing on these wands and this mountain here on the top of the mountain. And the mountain, within tarot, symbolism could very much be viewed as some type of challenge or obstacle. I certainly feel like your higher self is wanting you to with the Justice card here, this is talking about honesty, integrity, fairness, balance. And even in this 2 of Cups card here, she looks like she's carrying scales. Carrying scales as well. And the 2 of Cups is about harmony, partnerships, balance. Some of you, this is surpassing and healing karma, balancing karma. So again, a lot, I feel like, about how we perceive something, the difficulties, the challenges that we've gone through. I feel like your higher self could also be kind of, for many of you, giving you confirmation, especially if you kind of feel like, why is all of this stuff happening to me? Right? Again, it's that perspective, to me. But it's also your higher self kind of wanting you to understand that there is a karmic balancing that is occurring, through this process of this. And to stand strong and to not allow these situations to be something that hold you back in life, or keep you even stuck in that mental prison of negativity. But to more or less be strong and find your inner strength to be able to resolve, balance, and move past the situations that you are going through, you know, and to truly restore a sense of belief within the self. Okay, I want to see what this unseen is here. So what is the unseen for pile number 3? The 3 of Cups, joy, happiness, fulfillment. You know, maybe for some of you, there have been certain things that have taken your joy away, taken your happiness away. And it's like your higher self is wanting you to get reconnected to that part of yourself, to give yourself permission to experience joy again. Okay? Why is the unseen here? We have the 4 of Wands and also the 10 of Cups. Yeah, so the 10 of Cups, another card of joy, fulfillment, contentment. The 4 of Wands is harmony, balance. For some of you, this might have to do with certain family situations, relationships, friendships. Okay? Maybe if these, for some of you, are sources of your pain. Okay? This is something that your higher self is kind of wanting you to look into by looking within the self, right? Let's see why the star is here. We have the Wayfarer, which is the Lovers. Because I feel like your higher self is saying to you here that by you healing, you are going to, because in this case, the Lovers is talking about your union with your higher self. Aligning with your higher self through healing. Union. We also have the Warrior of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So the 5 of Pentacles is a feeling of lack, the feeling of emptiness, the feeling of void, the feeling of despair. And when we hold on to that lack or scarcity type of mentality, or a feeling that we are lacking resources, you know, because some of you might quite literally be having financial difficulties, dealing with homelessness, dealing with not having a job. And it can be very hard for us to see beyond those circumstances because we're going through it. But by you, I feel like what your higher self is saying to you here, that if you can make the choice to choose to change your perspective, okay, from that of lack into that of abundant, and abundant in whatever that means for that you feel like you're lacking. Okay, whether it is, yes, material resources, money, or if it's love, okay? Because again, our higher self functions from 5D consciousness, where love is unconditional, where abundance is plenty, lack, scarcity, being without love, or feeling like we're without love, scarcity, all of that is 3D consciousness. Pain, suffering, 3D consciousness. Fear, 3D consciousness. Your higher self is trying to help you to evolve and grow beyond that state of mind into experiencing joy, happiness, fulfillment, abundance. And the process by which that we get there is unlimited learning, releasing ourselves from limiting mindsets, scarcity with money, scarcity with love. Okay? So this is us moving beyond. So the way in which your higher self is describing this is by making the choice to shift into the mindset and the mentality of hope, of the star energy, which is believing, trusting, having faith, and being optimistic, right? Versus the negative thinking here of the Eight of Swords, because it is this limiting mentality that blocks us from accessing 5D consciousness and that vibration, right? We have to remember that the universe responds to whatever our frequency is, whatever our vibration is. So if we're functioning from lack, scarcity, right? This is going to invite more lack into our life, more scarcity into our life, more despair into our life, more fear-based thinking, more negative thinking into our life, and those situations that come along with it, versus experiences from the 5D that are from abundance, prosperity, unconditional love, joy, happiness, which are all very high frequencies of energy. And this is something that your higher self is wanting you to experience. But in order for us to do that, we have to change. We have to not resist, right? Transformation and change away from this type of mentality. So shifting into the place of right hope and the star energy. The Page of Pentacles is about planting the seed for something new. This could mean working on a creative project. This could mean applying for a job, getting a new job. This could mean, many different things, depending on what this is for you. The Knight of Pentacles is also about slow and steady movement. It's about committing ourselves to a goal, to a dream, to a desire, and taking those steps that are necessary in order for us to make things happen for ourselves. Okay? So it's like your higher self is wanting you to, in this case, follow your heart. Okay? Find that source of gold from within the self. Find the value within yourself. Find within you the worthiness to what it is that you desire within life. Love, happiness, joy, fulfillment. And for many of you, this is going to mean healing, balancing, overcoming, transcending karma. Okay? All right, so let's see if there's any other messages for you. Pile number 3. What your higher self needs you to know right now. We have know thyself. Know thyself. I'm going to have to cover her up a little bit. Know thyself. And you get to know thyself by reflecting inwards. Okay? Getting to know yourself by, for some of you, sitting with your pain. Observing it. Allowing yourself to feel it. Allowing yourself to move through it. So that you are able to move beyond it. And the mentality that goes along with it. Freeing yourself from it. Okay? Which is helping you with your ascension process. Alright, so that is all that I have for you. Pile number 3. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.